re-enhance.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 5-Hole Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We're your hosts today, TJ, Zach, and Raj.
Hey.
Full crew tonight. Raj, you did a great job holding it down for us in the last episode by yourself. Well done.
It was lonely.
Stick tap, shorthanded. Love it.
It's fucking lonely.
Oh, well. It's a break, right?
Scared and alone.
You did great. So we're 5-Hole Fantasy Hockey. You can find us on Twitter at FHFH Hockey. You can join the Fantasy Hockey Discord. We got your weekend preview coming at you right now. We're going to preview the weekend. We're giving you some pointers. We're actually flush with teams that play Friday and Sunday. So this is like a more normal week. We're going to get into some news, prep you for the week ahead, get you going for that. We're going to start off with injuries. Nikita Kucherov, LTIR. Some people are saying this could be as much as like 10 weeks, right? Like I've seen this episode before. What are you thinking?
You feel like you've seen something like this before?
Yeah,
it definitely like sucks
3
for
games
Kucherov
in 2
owners,
seasons.
especially when you're drafting him, like 4th or 5th overall. Like it is a gut punch for Kucherov.
This year will be different. This fucking 3 games in 2 seasons.
Gut punch.
This is brutal.
Yeah, and then he comes in and is always like at a 100-point pace while he's there, but he's never there. It's the worst.
Bandit boy. Andre Palat right back up into a spot where he was a 69-point player last year. Real nice. And I don't know. I guess we're interested in Palat at this point, but he's like really, really owned. So there's no going out and getting Palat.
Who do you feel like that hurts the most? I feel like it.
Kucherov, definitely Kucherov.
Well, that I'm saying who's still playing.
I mean, his line mates, shit. Cirelli, whomever he's playing with, Stamkos is going to take a hit. I mean, everybody on that top power play. Everybody. I mean, Palat.
I think it hurts Cirelli the most.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Killorn is better at, producing his own offense. Cirelli is kind of, not that he can't, but he's a better passer than, let's say, Killorn is, which is
he's more of a background character. He's not like a main character.
He's a Jonathan. He's a young Jonathan Toews.
Mike Smith on IR. We got a Twitter question that we were talking about in our group chat here. Somebody had Mike Smith. He's going on IR, and the options were Swayman, Vanacek, Holtby, or Koskinen. Now you could slide Koskinen right in there, get all the same games. But Koskinen, we have found in recent years that he's a no good. So I mean,
it's well put. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's
they went out and got Mike Smith. Is how bad he is.
Right, Mike Smith is better. That's saying something. Yeah, Mike Smith had a great year last year, but the best year in a decade for him.
Still, I think that Koskinen is the answer. I do. For that question, I think Koskinen is the answer if you're looking to fill that void for that whole time. My whole thing is there's question marks around all of those other guys. Holtby, more of a placeholder, if you will. You said Vanacek. We don't exactly know what's going on between the Vanacek and Samsonov, kind of duel that they have going on. So like some of these other players, Swayman is, I don't know who's going to be the starter, who's going to be the backup there. He did not play well against the Flyers tonight. So that doesn't look fantastic for Swayman's outlook. I just think that there's a lot of question marks around the other players that are available. That's why I think Koskinen is your go-to guy on this one.
Yeah, getting beat by Martin Jones doesn't look good on anybody's resume. But think of it, the kind of going along with what you're saying, these are the players that are on his waiver wire for goalies. Why not just live the lifestyle? Go 0G until Mike Smith gets back. Stream in a Swayman, stream in a Vanacek. I mean, you got Holtby on your waiver wire, Koskinen. Like if you want, you can spot start those guys.
Sorry, I was going to say, I didn't mean to interrupt you. there's some good back-to-backs coming up this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are some great back-to-backs, so you're going to get some spot starts. Like it's not bad. You can get your starts on these back-to-backs and pick good ones.
Yep. So Dylan that submitted this question to us, I think, spot starts are your answer. Make sure you get your minimum starts, but ride the wave along the way. Give 0G a try for the next couple weeks. Zach, I know you're bringing up Capo Kakinen for this weekend, and I think that's
Capo Kakinen is the answer
right there. That's a spot start worth having. Anaheim looks good, so I don't know how that back-to-back is going to go, but hey, man, that's what it is. Both the Hughes brothers are out. Jack Hughes is day-to-day injured late in the first period. And Raj, what do you know about Quinn? That's undisclosed. We had no idea what's going on. He missed practice, didn't play against was it a hard-fought game against Buffalo, or how'd that go for you, bud?
Oh, Jesus.
Was it hard-fought at least?
I don't know.
Did you try?
It's
because you threw shade at Carter Hart on Twitter in a public forum.
Yeah.
I have to do this to you.
Yeah, there was a big difference there, though.
Yeah, one was a respectable team. The other one was Buffalo.
We got beat by the #1 team in the league. Best goal differential in the league. Undefeated. What more? There's no other metric to judge a better
You're
team. So.
Obviously describing Buffalo right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's who beat us.
How weird.
It's bizarre. There's a lot of bizarre things going on. But no, I don't know what's going on with Quinn Hughes. He was just kind of all of a sudden day to day.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything. So I have nothing to say about that. It sucks.
Puts OEL on the top power play. OEL, not really, waiver wire material or anything. But if the off chance you're in one of those leagues, I would give him a shot here. Brock Besser came back to the lineup. Yanni Gourde, Zach, you talked about Yanni Gourde as a streamer like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, no way he's going to be back so soon. And he's back pretty soon. So Yanni Gourde.
I told you he was skating back then.
Yeah. I mean, flew under my radar. Yanni Gourde back. Takes 1C. What do we think about Jared McCann and his
Jared McCann was playing 2C. So damn well.
Yeah. I wonder if I don't think he'll see any less opportunity. Like they'll be able to roll those lines now, but you lose the line mates, even though Jaden Schwartz hasn't done shit so far. But there's deployment, there's quality of teammates and things like that he'll lose out on, but he's still getting top power play. I think it goes without saying that Jared McCann probably takes a step back in our projections, but what do you think? Is he still somebody worth holding?
Holding? No. And I'm actually currently a Jared McCann owner. It just didn't make sense for me to drop him right now. I will be dropping him, however. And I would even, prefer to pick up a Yanni Gourde. But we just talked about Brandon Tanev. We know he can go through those, streaks where he is on it. He cooled off a little bit, I would say, but that's still a decent line. I still like Jared McCann, but yes, he is droppable for sure.
What about you, Raj? How do you feel about Jared McCann now that he is 2C?
I'm out. I did have him somewhere, and I dropped him. Basically, just what Zach was saying. What's the...
Now, don't get me wrong. He's still good for like a quick stream, but he's not somebody that you're holding on to. Like I held on to him for probably TJ. It's been 5 days or 5-6 days. Had him for a couple of games now.
He was kind of a fringe own at any rate in like a 12.
Exactly. League, so he was the bottom of my roster, as it were.
If it makes sense for you, like there's no, don't carry guilt with dropping the guy. I don't think.
Yeah, definitely.
Nathan McKinnon returned. Mike Hoffman returned. This one happened kind of abruptly. 3 shots, 4 shot attempts. He had 3 hits. He's not typically a hitter, but maybe the Montreal thing is happening for him. No stat line other than that. Played 16-36. How are we feeling about, Mike Hoffman here now that he's back? Again, another fringe streamer. Montreal does kind of mute anybody's offensive ceiling, especially, for for fantasy because they tend to roll lines and power plays. But what do you think? And Raj,
they just got.
what do you think?
I think that they just got shut the fuck out by the San Jose Sharks.
So
that's what I think.
He did get a lot of power play time. He got 61% in his first game. And we were talking about Jared Allen. Raj, I think you were out. Zach, I think you were in. I mean, I'm not going to blame you. We all thought, this is a guy that's going to see volume for what was a team that was just in the Stanley Cup final. So, there's I don't think we can, not necessarily eating crow on this one. I don't think there's egg on anybody's face, but things have just not gone the way that anybody planned for Jake Allen here. We got to be off this train, right?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, the whole team is terrible, and he's a big part of it. That's it. I mean,
don't hold back, man.
He'd like to say, like, what is
really feel?
Hoffman gonna save the day or what? I mean, they're 0-4. They've scored 3 goals in 4 games as a team, and Allen, I mean, he's played 3 of the games and he's let in 10. So he was actually better than the backup. I can't even remember who the backup is.
Samuel Montembeault.
Yeah, right.
Who didn't really do that great either.
And this is these losses are against Buffalo, San Jose, are their 2 worst losses. I don't know. Something is
and a straight shellacking, like a shellacking from San Jose.
So going back to Dylan's Twitter question, these are the caveats to 0G, as everybody pretty much collectively thought that Jake Allen was going to be a home run here, and it has just not turned out that way. So, stream at your own discretion. That's that. Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty. Stone is somewhere between day to day and week to week. Pacioretty is somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 weeks. Top line is now the misfit line with Carlson, Stevenson, Carlson, Marchessault, and Smith. And then the second line is like Dadnov. DFO is on the fritz, but it's Dadnov,
Stevenson and Waugh.
And Nicholas Waugh. So let's talk about Evgeny Dadnov versus Riley Smith, because that's what the answers are at this point. Like, those are the 2 most appealing streamers due to these injuries. Do you like Riley Smith? Do you like Evgeny Dadnov? What would you guys say?
I am definitely team Riley Smith in this situation. Yeah. Only 17% owned. He's, definitely going to be available, and they have a good matchup this weekend. So you're looking for somebody from Vegas, but we don't like Evgeny Dadnov. I know he scored last night or something like that, but I don't trust him. I trust what I know of Riley Smith is, and I also like that line way better. Marchessault and Carlson.
Daddy issues.
I do have daddy issues. And I like Riley Smith way better. Way better.
Yeah, me too. They do have Dadnov on the Theodore unit, but that's not saying too much because the rest of the unit is Stevenson, Patrick, Kolasar. Keegan Kolasar, somebody to look at. Very deep leagues. He's banging up. He's banging bodies at this point, but he's seeing some power play time too with the Theodore unit. So I think right now could be in your deep leagues. Keegan Kolasar, I had him here as a streaming pickup. Somebody that, what is he, 2% owned? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he hits, and now he's seeing power play time. As far as left wing lock is telling me, check him out, Keegan Kolasar, and he's no stranger to fighting either. If you're in a pinch,
but in all honesty, which power play unit do you like better?
Definitely
the Theodore unit or the Pietrangelo unit.
Pietrangelo unit with Riley Smith and Martinez.
So why?
Yeah, I mean, that looks like a power play unit. The other one looks like a patchwork. There's not much going on there. Like, you got Keegan Kolasar, Nolan Patrick, Evgeny Dadnov, Chandler Stevenson, who, if he's out there, I might take a look at him too. But he was so much more appealing between Pacioretty and Stone. Now that he's between Waugh and, fucking Dadnov, man, like, Stevenson's,
That's a much
I mean,
different
his value
situation.
goes way down. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
exactly.
little
So,
different.
I don't know how I feel about Stevenson at this point, but I'm for Riley Smith. That line has so much continuity, so much chemistry at this point, and they're going to be getting more minutes. You're not trotting a Dadnov, Stevenson, or Waugh line out there as your top line. You're defaulting to this Marchessault line. So I think Riley Smith's the answer
for sure.
And then I got Keegan Kolasar. I'm all about that. I'm there for that one. All right, moving forward in our injury report, Chris Drieger is on IR. Pavel Buchnevich suspended 2 games for headbutting Lawson Krause. This is going to look good for our boy Jordan Kyrou, who was a streamer suggestion and absolutely exploded.
And just had a 4-point night?
4-point game with like 13 fucking minutes. So good for the kid. He's going to get some more minutes while Buchnevich is out because that right wing depth is going to trickle up, or however you want to call it. But yeah, I see Kyrou maybe breaking 15 minutes in the next game. But that was an absolute slam dunk. Like, St. Louis, they're looking really good. I think they're one of the only undefeated teams left, right there with Buffalo. But, up against Arizona, you got to stack against Arizona, and Kyrou made the most sense. So if anybody out there streamed in Kyrou on our suggestion, I'm glad you did. I did myself, and it was pretty sweet. I like points. Nick Robertson,
all right.
Not that he was playing in the NHL, but there was a lot of hopes for it in our dynasty crew. Nick Robertson fractured his leg. He'll be out 10 weeks. So, with Andre Kasha already on the shelf because he looked at an ice skating rink, and, there's no chance that Nick Robertson gets in. Brian Rust is week to week. Pittsburgh is unrecognizable right now. You got your top line of, I think it's like Evan Rodriguez. Jesus, there's streaming options. We'll say that much. It's Jeff Carter, Danton Heinen, and Jake Gensel. Second line, Zucker, Rodriguez, and Kapanen.
Rodriguez has been doing well, actually.
He's taking shots, which I'm really happy about. Jeff Carter still, I think, head and shoulders in the streaming superstar right now. But that's what's going on there. Hoffman returned. We already talked about that one. Let's get into the news. Evander Kane suspended 21 games. So we have, a timeline for Evander Kane. Are you guys biting? He's suspended, so he's not going to fit into your IR Plus and Yahoo. So he's going to chew up a dead roster spot, I think, until December, like mid-December or something like that. And then after that, there's still the question mark. Does he play for San Jose? Do they let him play for them?
Let somebody else waste a roster spot. That would be my suggestion to you. 100%.
Yeah. Play fantasy defense here. What do you think, Raj? Evander Kane, any interest?
Not particularly. The one I was actually just got me thinking. I know the guys are listening to this episode, so I better do it quick. I joined one league this year where there's like 10 bench. So in that case, I might actually consider it because no one else is going to do it. But there's literally 10 bench.
9 bench is plenty to play around with. You have a ton of flexibility.
Yeah, so and that is the one rare case in a very odd league that now that you mention it, I'm actually considering it. But generally speaking, I don't want to hold him for a quarter of a season to hope he comes back.
Yeah, you should go add the guy right now. Rupe Hintz, I think he was like a 5th or a 6th round draft pick, according to Yahoo ADPs, things like that. He is averaging 13.39 of time on ice. He's got 8 shots through 4 games and no points. He's -2, a couple hits, couple blocks. Leaving ADP and, let's not use the word bust or anything like that as much as I want to at this point, but is there hope, or is this a buy low point, or are we thinking about cutting bait altogether? What would you do with Rupe Hintz?
It's hard to say that you want to cut bait right away.
I know, especially with the draft capital you invested like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I always say don't get too attached to players. but that one might be a little tough. It definitely is harder the higher that you draft him, but I'm not sold on him doing as poorly as he's done. You know what I mean? He's still shooting the puck. Give him some time. If you drop him, I'm picking him up, I guess is the answer. Or my
Roger, what
answer,
say
at
you?
least.
I am not a fan.
His power play percentage too, like the share, he's getting like 34% of the power play time.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario, I don't think is like the upside is not super high, so I would not be wasting my time. There's quite a few players ahead of him who are doing okay. I think Sagan coming back kind of put a damper on him for sure.
Next up, I got Sam Reinhart right now. Bumped off line one, bumped off power play one, but finally scored. So all he needed was a demotion to get things going, I guess.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. What are we thinking here? Obviously a lot of us were pretty high on Sam Reinhart in Florida. Sure thing. It seemed like, in top line with Barkov, put Duclair up there. A couple questions. How are we feeling about Anthony Duclair, and how are we feeling about Sam Reinhart at this point?
I'm still in on the sloth. I'm still in on it. I think he could get back into the good graces. Is he a player that I'm really holding on to, and clutching onto? No, but I would be wary about dropping him. I know what Anthony Duclair is. He can score points. He can score goals. But do you think that a 60% shooting percentage is going to continue? I don't.
He's got goals in 3 straight.
Yeah, on 5 shots. I don't think that is going to continue. So, that's great to have him there now, and that's a great streamer. Perfect example of a great streamer right there. Goal scored yesterday, 60% shooting percentage right there. But long term, I think that Sam Reinhart fits in better with how that line plays.
Me too. Duclair fits well, even though he was top line. His time on ice only barely broke 12 minutes. So I really don't know what they got going on there as far as who's skating the rest of the minutes with the top line, because you look at Barkov's time on ice and it's huge. It's almost double. So I don't know. Are they rotating? What's going on there? But he's scoring goals. I think his average time on ice is somewhere around 11 minutes now, probably not even.
And under 11 minutes.
And Hornquist takes his spot on the top power play, who we were just shitting on the other day. His time on ice is still barely above 11:30. It's not even there yet, but as a top power play guy, Sam Bennett, we don't know what's going on with him. He is out at the moment, but there's not panic or doesn't look long-term or anything. I think it was just like a maintenance day or what have you, but Eetu Luostarinen was taking a spot on the top power play. So that looks like a placeholder. That doesn't look like, an actual option when you got Owen Tippett who could slide up there, Sam Reinhart even. So it does look like a placeholder, but Patrick Hornquist, 10:37 in his last game. This move to the top power play, has it moved the needle for you guys at all with this kind of sheltered time on ice?
No, I think that he was a fringe player, and he, still is interested with a stream, but I'm dropping him after those games started. So I'm dropping it to 701.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into Patrick Hornquist. I mean,
how good has Carter Verhaeghe been though? Oh,
I'm not worried about Reinhart either. Actually, right now, Reinhart is got better stats than Huberdeau, so I'm not too worried. It's like we're sitting here saying, "Yeah, drop Huberdeau. He's a piece of shit." Like they're on the same team and they both have 2 assists.
Don't do that.
You're saying that.
Don't do that.
I would hold on to Reinhart for now.
You guys ready to get weird?
Oh no.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Kevin Shattenkirk, who's doing stuff. He's got
Anaheim
points in
is
4
doing
straight.
stuff.
Yeah. Shattenkirk got points in 4 straight. He's got 8 blocks. He's got 2 hits. His shots aren't bad. They're not great, but he's got 7 in 4 games. But he's got 5 points in 4 games too. Pretty good minutes. I think he's getting top power play at this point. But what are you guys thinking about Kevin Shattenkirk? This screams just stream it right until it's over.
It does.
He's not even on the top power play. Shit me. Like, that's Jamie Drysdale.
Yeah. What the fuck? Like, Silverberg is just going off too. Like, it's old timer times down there. Man, the whole league is a bit weird right now. Like San Jose, Anaheim, Buffalo.
San Jose is 5th in scoring. Anaheim isn't last in scoring. So things are definitely strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Shattenkirk, by the way, is doing this all on, let's just say, a career high shooting percentage for early in the season, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Small sample
43%
sizes all around, boys.
43% with a career
high?
5 point.
No
career high of, or a career average of 5.8%. He has scored 3 goals on 7 shots, boys.
Yeah.
It's safe to say it's going to end. But yes, is he a fantastic streamer right now? Absolutely. Is he possibly a hold because Anaheim is gelling after, years of being shitty, but now they actually, their young talent is coming up and playing well? Maybe. Only time will tell. But yeah, it's going to regress from what it is right now.
We can't even trash on their opponents either because they've been playing real teams. You know what I mean? This isn't.
They've been beating good teams. Yes.
Yeah. So it's weird. San Jose, same thing, man. And that's kind of where I want to start digging into the best schedule of this weekend. San Jose is doing well. Erik Karlsson's got a lot of points lately. A lot of points. I mean, 64% owned Erik Karlsson. Just go check territory. I drafted a couple shares of Erik Karlsson just on the off chance that things would work. I said some things about San Jose and how the Brownies might taste, but they taste a little bit like crow at this point. And Timo Meier, people are catching on. He's 42% owned. I think he was 23 the last time we talked about him. And, a 4-point game will fucking do that with some shots and some fucking hits. And man, Timo Meier was another hit for us. So, man, San Jose, not bad. And their schedule,
dude,
it's a good schedule.
They play 3 games in 4 nights.
They play 3 games in 4 nights, and 2 of them are those off nights on Friday, Sunday. So,
you know what? I have that as well about just the fact that them not playing on Saturday is also a boom for you, because really, if you're picking up a player from San Jose and they're more of a fringe player, you're picking them up off the wire, you're not going to play them on a heavy Saturday anyway. So
yeah,
having them for those off nights is buco.
It's not, it's not an easy road ahead. They got Ottawa, sure, that's fine, and then they got Toronto, and then they have Boston. So I mean, those are 2 teams that you don't stack up against when we're trying to stream or anything. But you do have those 2 off nights. Timo Meier still available in over half of leagues. You're going to get a peripheral floor if you're in a banger league, and if you're in a points league, he put up 4 points in the last game. So
dude, he had 15
he'll do
shots
that too.
in 2 games. 15 shots in 2 games.
7.5 shots a game. That is sustainable.
Not bad for a banger.
Come on. Yeah. Get on some Timo Meier, everybody.
Well, there's a whole bunch of guys on that team that are
Mario Ferraro
available and worth a look.
Ferraro bangs. He's 7% owned. Go for that. There'll be some bangs.
He scored a goal last night too.
Whew. Goals for everybody. But yeah, let's hear it. Who else you got from San Jose here?
Couture's still there. He's got 3 points so far. He hits a bit.
Number 1 power play, obviously.
5 blocks in 2 games for a center, for your number 1 center. That's pretty good. I have a hard time believing that we're talking about how hot these teams are, but if you want to go super deep, LeBanc has 2 points. 2 games.
Well,
I fucking hate him. I fucking hate
let's wait right here. If you want to go super deep, Raj,
Uh-oh. I know where you're going.
you can. Yeah, I mean, you could go 0%. Do you want to go 0%?
Let's go 0.
We can go 0% with Jasper Weatherby.
Scoring points.
He is scoring points, and I like points. He has a goal and an assist. He has 2 points in 2 games. His shooting percentage is 100%, however.
Nice.
So, take that for what it's worth. But
it's worth goals.
Dude, his 1 goal is on the power play. His 1 assist is on the power play. He's getting power play time as a 4th liner. But I watched that game last night, and he was making himself known on the ice. He's one of those guys that if you're watching or listening to the game, you know that he's playing. I noticed him enough to say that, hey, this 0% player might be worth a stream. Might be. But
what do you think about Eklund?
You know what? He was who I was going to bring up next. Also 2 points, both assists, also both on the power play. But then again, their power play is clicking right now very well, obviously. And Shattenkirk is getting some of that too. But William Eklund is a guy that we brought up.
Talk about Carlson.
What? Oh yeah, I didn't mean Carlson. I didn't mean Shattenkirk. Sorry. Yeah, and Carlson's getting part of that too. Obviously, their power play is playing very well right now. William Eklund also on that power play. You definitely want to see him shoot more. But yeah, 15 minutes time on ice. He is getting second line time, and Rudolph Balcers isn't even a bad look. I like Rudolph Balcers too.
Rudy.
Who's a bad look? Leading the forwards in time on ice right now is Nick Bonino. He's 0 anything. He has nothing.
Nick Bonino is a fucking grinder though, and that's why.
19
Nick Bonino is a grinder.
Ice. He's playing more minutes than Logan Couture is, and he literally has 0 points, 0 any stats whatsoever.
I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't surprise me in the least.
No.
Yeah, I want to see some.
He's a guy. He plays good defense. He's a guy that you do want out there. I'm sure he's also a big PK guy. I guarantee he's on their PK.
Yeah, probably.
So we talked about a few players from Vegas who also have a pretty good looking schedule. They only have 2 games, but both of them are on off nights. You got Edmonton on Friday, and then you got the New York Islanders on Sunday. So without your 2 best forwards, they're going to be tough games. I expect to see some blocks in there. So Alec Martinez, obviously owned. But I also expect to see some hits, which is another reason I want to bring up Keegan Kolasar. 2% owned. He's got plenty of hits through a couple games and might see a fight if you're playing in Pimmers. And man, he's getting power play time at this rate. So if there's opportunity, right now's the time. Keegan Kolasar for very deep leagues at 2% owned. Obviously, Riley Smith and Evgeny Dadnov kind of marquee the streamers from Vegas this week. And I mean, is there anything more to say about Smith versus Dadnov at this rate? I mean, I don't want to shit on Dadnov. Like, I'm not trying to tell anybody don't go pick him up. I do like Riley Smith better at this point, though.
For sure. I picked up both actually in a couple of leagues just because it's all off night, so you're not cutting into anyone else's games. So
just might as well
load up on games. Stevens,
no daddy issues for you.
Yeah, well, he beat me last year. He hurt me in the past.
He did beat you like a redheaded stepchild last year.
He went out for a pack of smokes and never showed up.
That's true. Oddly enough, Martinez is not blocking. Sure. That's one thing that's not happening. Alec Martinez is like 5th on the team in blocks right now.
Who's number 1?
Braden McNabb.
There's some bangs for you.
Okay.
He's good. White Cloud's got a bunch, but yeah. Well, White Cloud's actually got the same bangs as McNabb.
Couple options for that. I think, I especially like that Islanders game for bangs.
Oh,
that's a bang heavy game. So yeah, White Cloud, through 2 games, 8 hits, 7 blocks. Braden McNabb, 8 hits, 8 blocks. So right up there. McNabb's got a little bit better time on ice, not by a ton. But yeah, man, I think both of those. I mean, McNabb 6%, White Cloud 4%. Both of these guys will be out there. If you're, down on hits, down on blocks Sunday, I think those are the guys to go for.
Keegan Kolasar is the new Tyler Mott. He's 6.5 hits a game right now. Not a guy.
Yep, 13 through 2 games. So that's a guy I'm going for. The best thing about Vegas too is next week that their schedule is pretty good. So if you're in limited ads or anything like that, Vegas does have one of the better schedules. There's a lot of really good schedules next week because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are all off nights. But if we're looking at Vegas's schedule here, I mean, everybody's got a pretty good schedule. They got Colorado, Dallas, and Anaheim all off nights. 3 games, 3 off nights. So, Colorado, who knows how that's going to go, but Dallas and Anaheim, I feel good about. Anyway, Boston's got 2 off nights. Just I don't know who to stream. I mean, I feel like Jake DeBrusk at this point is worth bringing up. Maybe Charlie Coyle just for even strength deployment. What do you guys think there?
I have Charlie Coyle on this one. It's got to happen sometime. Like, he has this good deployment right now. I mean, Taylor Hall scored a goal tonight, but that was on a breakaway.
Breakaway
so
versus
that's his line
Martin
mate scoring
Jones.
a goal. He didn't get anything out of it. But dude, I mean, that line is a good line. He's playing with Craig Smith, who we like, and Hall, who scored 8 goals in 16 games last year when he was on the Bruins at the end of the year. Comes out with his first goal tonight against the Flyers, which they won. So I'm happy about that. But Charlie Coyle seems like the only real answer. I do kind of like Nick Foligno still, just as I always like Nick Foligno.
Something happened to him tonight. He got hurt.
Did I miss that?
Point.
I watched.
He disappeared. Yeah, I watched it too, and they brought it up for like a second in the third period. He just wasn't on the bench anymore. They didn't say anything about it. They just, he just disappeared.
Because I like Nick Foligno in general.
Dude, let's talk about Craig Smith.
Upper body.
Let's talk about Craig Smith. 7 shots tonight for Craig Smith, so it brings him up to 9 in 2 games. He's 12% owned and riding that same line as Charlie Coyle. That's what he does. He shoots.
Yeah, so I got Craig Smith in a league, which I was nervous about, but it's nice to hear he's shooting.
He's still shooting.
He always does shoot, though. I mean, that's a good part of his game. He's usually, at least 2 shots a game. But yeah, so those 2 available players on that second line, that's really who you're looking at. I don't really know of anybody else that would really be available. Forbert obviously would probably be available. But from that third line, I'm not big on Halla. I'm not big on DeBrusk. It's that second line availability. And those are your bets for me.
I don't mind Nashville's schedule this weekend either. And Mikhail Greenland is somebody that has been working. I mean, it's not something I trust, but it's working. Mikhail Greenland, man, what's he got? He's got 4 points through 3 games, a goal on 3 shots, which isn't exactly what you're looking for, but he's got 2 power play points, which is not something that's usually a Nashville thing, is to really get these power play points going.
Yeah, 2 power play assists
there. Yeah. So
yeah, and they did it without Tolvanen, which is crazy.
Tolvanen still ripping shots, dude. He's got over 5 shots a game, 16 shots through 3 games.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's Granlund, only 7% owned.
Yep. And Tolvanen right there, 24%. So I'm there for Tolvanen. Detroit is another, they stick out. And I think their opponents might be some of the most appealing. The New York Islanders have Arizona, but it's on Saturday. So if you can convince yourself, go get a Paul Mary and squeeze him into your lineup on a Saturday, it's going to be tough. But I do think anybody versus Arizona is one way to go. But Detroit is a team that has been surprising me as well. We've been talking about all these teams that are coming out of nowhere. Detroit is 6th in the league right now in goals for per game. They're tied with Edmonton, if that tells you anything. They got over 4 goals a game. A lot of it was that Tampa Bay game, but Jesus, if you can put up 6 against Tampa, I think it was, you start to write home about that. You write a letter. Is there anybody from Detroit that kind of tickles your fancy here? I mean, I know we were talking about Tyler Bertuzzi quite a lot and how he's, his games that he's missing, that Montreal game is going to be one of them. He's shot up to 70% owned at this point.
He's also shot up to over 60% shooting percentage right now.
So, he's got 5 goals through 3 games.
On 8 shots.
If shooting percentage is keeping you away from him, that's 5 goals that you've missed out on because you're afraid of shooting percentage.
Well, yeah, I'm afraid of Bertuzzi, but I'm definitely afraid of it continuing. Obviously at that rate, but I just can't believe that he's going to be a sniper.
But there's really not too many other options, though, Raj. I mean, you can look on his same line. Dylan Larkin still only 57% owned. Dylan Larkin is still awesome. 57%.
3
I'd
points.
say he's available. Half.
Adam Ernie, 0% owned.
Lucas Raymond on that line as well. Now I know
3 points for him as well.
He only scored his first goal ever in the NHL last night, but still, he's on that line with a Bertuzzi who is streaking right now, a player in Larkin who is their best player overall on the entire team. If he's that third wheel, I mean, I'm interested in the stream, if nothing else.
That's a great line.
Leading the team in shots is Pia Suter right now. He's got 11 shots. He's got no points, but he is shooting a ton. So this kid's trying. We should talk about Nick Leddy with 3 points, 3 assists so far. He's kind of the backbone of their defensive core. You got Filip Hronek up at the top. Mo Seider, the same way. 3 games, 3 assists, only 3 shots, 4 hits, and a block. So, he's providing some peripheral value. I do think his performance is getting overblown a bit. But it's nothing to sneeze at.
Dude,
I just think there's a lot of hype there.
He's getting minutes.
Fall is coming. It's getting chilly.
It's
time for some Mo apple cider.
Oh my God.
Sweet apple cider. Yeah, he's getting more minutes than Leddy, which is surprising. That was my worry with Cider. It's cool to like the young guys and stuff, but I was concerned that he wasn't going to get much phrasing. I was just concerned about
Dickens?
the minutes, but he's maybe the most minutes, actually. He is the most minutes.
Hronek's getting 23.55. Yeah.
You
guys ever tried Dickens? They make a cider. Yeah, Dickens cider. It's pretty good.
What's it taste like?
Pennies.
Pennies.
Oh man. Anyway, I mean, there's value in Detroit right now. Like Robbie Fabry's doing stuff, Filip Hronek kind of doing stuff, but like you're saying, like Larkin is available in over a third of leagues. Just go check. I mean, fucking have some fun. Adam Ernie is doing quite a bit, and I think he's adding a ton of peripherals too. So Adam Ernie, 8 hits, 3 blocks, 5 shots, 3 points so far. He's getting 15.35. He is 0% owned. So we're going to talk about a 0% owned guy here. You got Keegan Kolasar at 2, Mikhail Greenland at 7, Mario Ferraro at 7, and Adam Ernie at 0. So somebody for everybody. Nobody owns Adam Ernie. 0 people.
Yeah, if you noticed, I posted some of our results in the Discord from our streamers last week. If you had a team of just people we suggested as streamers, you would have been leading any of our listener leagues.
My God.
Of just people we suggested off the wire. So
we suck at drafting. I think that's.
I need to listen to you guys more often.
Yeah, well, I noticed that, and then this week I actually started taking our own advice.
Kiru. I definitely bid on Kiru. I bid on Riley Smith. That game is going on right now. I'm excited to go check it out. That's it for the weekend preview. Yeah. Do you guys got anything left?
The only other place that we didn't really talk about is Buffalo.
Oh God.
Where just take your pick. If there's anybody you want, I guarantee you can have them. Like Victor Olofsson, why not? I mean, he might get
Jeff
you a
Skinner.
goal. Two games this weekend. Yeah. I think Olofsson's
There
all
is that one that I wanted to say, and we didn't really talk about Minnesota too much, did we?
Nope, not at all. Yeah, they got the Sunday game. I like that.
I mean, so I'll just talk about Minnesota real quick. Then we can be done. But they have the back-to-back, like we were talking about earlier in the episode, and then it's Saturday, Sunday, which makes it interesting. So you can, maybe start off with an Edmonton back-to-back on Thursday, Friday, drop that player, switch over, get a Saturday, Sunday player, or if for you 0G guys, I think that Kaapo Kähkönen is a really good pickup. He's going to most likely, he's looking at getting that Anaheim game. But if you're worried about getting starts, you can plug him in there. Is Anaheim going to continue to play the way they're playing? I don't know. However, I do also know that Kaapo Kähkönen is a really good player. I am very high on him. Always have been. Probably always will be. So I'm going to keep on going with him.
I also think he's a really good pickup, but I just remember last year when he didn't see action for a while and then he came back and he was garbage. So I just want to throw out the caveat just so everybody has full transparency. I still think he's a good pickup, but just remember that when Kähkönen doesn't play, or at least once before, when he didn't play for a while, when he comes in cold, he wasn't that good. So I just want to throw that out there.
Well, the whole thing is, as far as like a lot of those goes, if you're not Nedeljkovic, I'm not interested in Detroit's goalie. If you're
I was
not
going to
UC
ask you how you
Saros,
felt about that.
I'm not really interested in Nashville's goalie. Both of the Islanders' goalies are already on rosters. I could only imagine.
A lot of people jumping ship on Sorokin.
Sorokin's like 92% or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people jumping ship there. Just
so as far and so we're just really going on availability here as well. He should be out there.
Kaapo
Kähkönen.
So let's talk about Detroit here. Nedeljkovic and Tomáš Garaj. They see Montreal, who's been struggling, and Chicago, who's been struggling, and Detroit's been hot. Are you saying you wouldn't touch either of those goalies? Like, say, Kähkönen's owned, and say Sorokin obviously is owned, and maybe David Rittich comes back from COVID, whatever the hell he's got going on, and he's owned too. It's not the most intimidating back-to-back set with, Montreal and Chicago. You're not touching Ned. You're not touching Greiss.
No way.
Nedeljkovic, I would think is, mostly owned. What is he? Maybe in like the 70s or something like that. But Greiss, not so much. Really, I think that Montreal will come out of the funk that they are in. In Chicago, you're still going up against elite scoring. So I wouldn't want to touch that Chicago game. I think that they're going to bounce back, to be honest with you. And Montreal, like I said, is going to come out of it at some point in time. Man. Will it be tomorrow? Or, will it be Saturday? I don't really know. But I think they will.
So here's the thing. Okay, so Ned is under 50% owned. Greiss is 17%. He's got a 969, 2 wins through 2 games played.
Mm-hmm. And that's shocking.
Like, I know I don't trust it, but
I guess if you needed it, like if you need another start or something like that, then give her. But
it's games against Vancouver and games against Columbus. These are, those weren't shitty games. Those are real opponents. I would try Greiss. I would try Greiss. Keep your ear to the ground. I would give Greiss a go, whether it's Chicago, whether it's Montreal. It's just as risky as any other goalie pickup, I think. So I'm just going to throw that out there, that there's a back-to-back to look for, going into Sunday if you need to meet starts. So wanted to give it a shot.
Now I think we're good.
Okay, that's curtains, boys. So we'll catch you guys for the week preview coming up on Sunday. Until then, you can find us on Twitter at FHF Hockey. You can join the Fantasy Hockey Discord. We have surpassed 1,000 quite handily at this point. So come hang out because we're having a real good time. So we'll catch you guys later. We love you.
Love you.
Love yous.
Oh, and leave a good review. We got a bad review. So if you like us, go write some words. That'd be rad.
Anyway, and if you don't like us, you can,
yeah, kick rocks. Kick rocks. All right.